Hope so you all are safe and healthy at your home and also doing your online studies perfectly. Today I'm here with a new topic, that is types of economy, which is my third video of chapter number 1, Economics and Economy of Class 11. In this lecture, we learn about meaning of an economy, types of economy, merits and demerits of different types of economy. Friends, I know some of the students think that economics is very difficult subject. We cannot bear this subject. How can we learn the topic and so on? So my suggestion to those students are that nothing is difficult, everything is easy, but firstly you have to change your mindset with a positive thinking. My suggestion is that whatever I am sharing the videos with you, please don't listen only, but start making notes with me, as the self-made notes always helps you a lot in the exam. Because whatever handouts are made by an individual, they are never forgettable. Their values are long lasting with us. And we always, as that values are directly entered in our mind. So students, please listen the video and try to understand whatever I am going to teach you. In the previous video, I have discussed that what is economics. What is economics? Economics is that branch of knowledge in which those activities of human beings are studied which require scarce means to satisfy human needs. And here, economics deals with scarce resources. Now, we are going to discuss what is an economy. Students, economy is a system by which people of an area earn their living. That means economy means people of a particular area earn their living. So what you have observed by the two terms which I have discussed right now, economics and economy. Both are different concepts? Of course, yes. Basically, economy means whatever the economic activities are done by the people to earn their living, and the sum total of all those activities are called an economy. I here use the word economic activities. What I mean by this? As we know that in the society or in economy, people are always busy in doing something or doing some activities. So that activities are categorized into two parts, and they are economic activities and non-economic activities. One is economic activities and other is non-economic activities. Can you know the meaning of these two terms? Economic activities are always related to money, whereas non-economic activities are not related with money. Or in other words, we can say that economic activities are those activities by which people get or earn something, earn money. Suppose if we do any work and by that work, if we get any money, if we earn any money, that activity is called an economic activities. Whereas non-economic activities are performed with the purpose of rendering or giving services to other without consideration to financial gains. That means it is not related with money. Got it? So let's take an example for this. Suppose a mother who is teaching their kids and helping their kids in their homework and classwork, then this activity is considered to be a non-economic activity. Why? Because by doing that activity, she did not get any money or she did not earn any money. So this comes in non-economic activity. Whereas same lady is teaching in the school or college or an institution and earn money and she get a salary for that, then this activity is called as an economic activity, because by doing this activity she get money. So hope you understand the difference between economic activity and non-economic activities. By economic activities, a person getting some income and that income they spend on goods and services. So when we study economics, as you know that economics is a very vast concept in which two branches are there, microeconomics and macroeconomics. So when we study economics, economy, we always consider the term economic activities, not the non-economic activities. So why? Because by doing these activities, people can earn their bread and butter to satisfy their unlimited wants. As economic activities are further classified into 4 categories. Can you know what are the 4 categories? They are firstly production. Production. What do you mean by production here? Production means to produce goods and services. Secondly, distribution. Distribution means to distribute goods and services among individuals. Third is consumption. Means consume that goods and services according to their needs. And last is exchange or trade. That means how in the various sectors these produced goods and services are distributed, like wholesalers to retailers and retailers to shopkeepers. So economy is a system of economic activities of a given geographical area. So let me discuss the definition of economics. Can we write definition ourselves? Of course, yes. Economy is a system of production, distribution, exchange, and consumption of goods and services by different economic agents of a given geographical area. Economy is a system of production, distribution, exchange, and consumption of goods and services by different economic agents of a given geographical area. Here the word is economic agent. Can you know what is the meaning of economic agent? Economic agent is a decision maker that has an effect on an economy by buying, selling, or producing goods and services. So economic agents are households, individuals, firm, businessmen, and so on. So let me conclude this definition. Economy is a system of or network of production, distribution, exchange, and consumption of goods and services by different households, businessmen, firms, individuals of a particular area. So this is an economy. I hope you understand the concept of economy. Friends, as we know, economics is a very vast concept and it has two branches. Also, same as economy have different types of economics. Now, let me discuss the main topic of the lecture, that is types of economy. Types of economy. Just for your knowledge, students, economies are categorized on different bases, such as on the basis of nature, on the basis of state or level, on the basis of complexity, and on the basis of degree of control. But in class 11 syllabus, we have to focus only on the topic, that is economics, types of economics on the basis of degree of control. So on the basis of degree of control, economics are categorized into three parts, and they are firstly centrally planned economy. Second is market economy. And third is mixed economy. Third is mixed economy. Friends, in examiner not asking you direct questions. They try to confuse you by giving different names of economics. So let first we know the different names of these. Centrally planned economy is also known as socialist economy. It is also known as controlled economy. Or we can say that planned economy. One another name of this is command economy. It has so many names. An examiner can ask you in any of pattern. Same as market economy, also known as free economy or capitalist economy, or we can say that private economy. mixed economy has only one more name, that is combined economy. So overall, there are three types of economy: centrally planned economy, market economy, or mixed economy. So now we discuss one by one. Socialist economy. It is run by the government with the motive of social welfare. That means in socialist economy, all the control or overall control is in the hand of government only. Private sector cannot interference in the management of public or government sector. Here, all the major decisions are taken on the basis of creating social welfare. As we know that socialist economy is also known as controlled economy or planned economy in certain countries because it supports the philosophy of equity by equal distribution of income. So let us talk about the features of economy, socialist economy. Features of socialist economy. The first feature is collective ownership. That means the ownership of production, distribution and exchange lies in the hand of government only. No individual is allowed to have any private property or accumulate any kind of wealth or run any kind of business. So here only the government takes all the decisions in the economy, and the decisions like what will be the produce in the economy, what will be its prices, how it will be distributed among different sections of society. These all decisions are taken by the government. As an entrepreneur, we cannot take any kind of decision about our own businesses, right? So, second feature is social welfare is the core objective. That means government has control over all the means of resources or production and utilize the earned profit for the benefit of society as a large. Third feature is no freedom of choice. No freedom of choice. Here the choice refers to consumers, for consumers only. That means consumer cannot purchase any commodity according to his or her demand. Or we can say that consumer cannot bound the government to produce goods according to his or her own demand. Here only the government has the authority to produce goods, and those goods only consumer has to use for their satisfaction. Then the next feature is equal distribution of income. Equal distribution of income. Moreover, equal distribution of income is ensured in socialism as equal chance are given to all whether they are in any of the occupations or they are doing any education irrespective of any kind, any religion, caste or creed, etc. And the last feature we talk about that prices are determined by the government only. Prices are determined by the government. Under socialism, only government is authorized for determining the prices of goods and services. Here, administrative prices are taken into consideration by the government and these prices are benefit to the poor section of the society because the subsidized prices are charges from them. So here in socialism, government is the king. Why government is the king? Because all the decisions or everything is in the hands of government only. Now we talk about some merits and demerits of socialist economy. The first merit is social welfare. Because all the decisions are taken by the government, so the main motto of this economy is social welfare. Second merit is promoting collective interest. Collective interest. In this economy, the interest of producer as well as the interest of different section of society is promoted. Third merit is prevention of consumer as well as labor exploitation. Prevention of consumer or labor exploitation. Again, in this economy, there is social equality because government is thinking for the poor section of society as well as the richer section of society. So they are not differentiating. Last merit of socialist economy is more employment opportunities and social justice. And social justice. As we have already discussed in the feature that it leads to equal distribution of income and everything is in the hands of government. So the government will encourage more and more employment opportunities and give social justice to all. Now let me talk about some demerits of socialist economy. Students, socialist economy is not practically possible in the present world. So, the first drawback of this economy is bureaucracy. Bureaucracy basically it means corruption. And we know that corruption is there in socialist economy. Second demerit is lack of consumer sovereignty. What do you mean by consumer sovereignty? That means there is no freedom of choice to the customer. They as well as they are not even respect in this economy. So here it means when all the decisions are taken by the government, so the consumer has not wider choices. Whatever goods and services are available in the market, they have to accept it only. This is the foundation there. So lack of freedom, lack of consumer sovereignty here. Third drawback is lack of self-interest. In this economy, the private owners will not have interest in opening up its own business because he will think that everything is in the hands of government, all the decisions are taken by the government, so why could they start up their own business? What is the benefit for them? So they will not start their own business. Last drawback is state monopolies are created. State monopoly are created. As we know, everything is in the hands of government. All decisions are taken by the government. So, few particular state can they create monopolies for its product. So, we discussed all the merits and demerits of socialist economy. About the second type of economy, that is capitalist economy. In this economy, all means of production are managed and controlled by private individuals for profit. So there are two key points used. First is private individual. That means in this economy, everything is managed by private individuals. And second is the main objective is for profit. So capitalist economy is that kind of economy in which all means of productions are managed and controlled by private individuals for profit. So when all the major decisions such as what to produce, how to produce and for whom to produce are taken by market forces, then it is called as capitalist economy. Here market forces play freely under the economy and prices are decided by demand and supply of goods and services. One main thing is that producer has to make all the decisions. So he will take decisions in order to maximize profit. So he will produce that kind of goods which give him more profit and in less cost of production. So this is capitalist economy. Now we talk about some features of capital economy. First feature of capitalist economy is no government interference. As we have already discussed that in capitalist economy, everything is controlled or managed by private sector. So the role of government is minimum, and that means all factor of productions are managed by private individuals. Second feature is profit motive. This we have also discussed in the definition that the core or main objective of capitalist economy is to maximize more and more profit. So all the decisions are taken for only profit maximization. Third feature is freedom of enterprise. As we know that government has no control in this economy. So the role of government is minimum. Therefore, the enterprise has full control or full freedom. Next point, consumer sovereignty. In this economy, consumer is the king of market. Or we can say that economy can produce goods and services on the taste and preference of consumer only, because here the consumer has more choices and more freedom. Next point is right to property. As the ownership is in the hand of private individuals or private hand, therefore the individuals in the economy can own their private property too. Next point, price is determined by demand and supply, or we can say that price is determined by market forces or market mechanism, because here the producer only decides the price. He only decides the price or what the price will be and which of the production is going to be produced which are in more demand. So he will decide the price on the basis of that products which are in high demand. Last feature is inequalities of income. As this is the capitalist economy, so that we have already discussed this, most and major decisions are in the hands of private hands. So therefore the richer become more rich and poor become more poor. So this is a major drawback of capitalist economy, that it leads to unequal distribution of income. So students, pure capitalism is not seen in the world nowadays, but this type of economy generally prevails in the countries like Germany, Britain, USA, UK and so on. And do you know socialist economy generally prevails in which country? It prevails in Russia, China, Denmark, North Korea and so on. Let we talk about the merits and demerits of capitalist economy. We talk about the merits, and the first merit is promote self-interest. It increases the self-interest. As suppose you are the private individuals, so you are the one who is taking decisions for your own business or own institution. Second merit is innovation. We have already discussed about that in capitalist economy, management and control are in the hands of private individual. Therefore, in order to maximize profit, private sectors always brings new innovations, and therefore innovation is encouraged in the economy. Third merit is accelerate the pace of growth. Definitely, growth and development is promoted as new innovation is coming, investment is increases, and when investment is increases, therefore the GDP also increases in the economy. Next, last merit of the capitalist economy is high standard of living. As the core objective is to earn profit, or we can say that profit is the target, so people earn more and more, so ultimately the living standard increases. Now we'll talk about some demerits. First demerit is wealth is centralized in few hands. Wealth is centralized in few hands. Because in capitalist economy, management and control are in the hands of private individuals, so richer become more rich and poor become more rich, more poor. So unequal distribution of income is there, as well as the powers are in the hands of richer society, so wealth is centralized in the few hands. Second demerit is economic instability. Economic instability. It also led to the regional imbalance development. Third point is misuse of resources. As again the same thing, that ownership and control are in the hands of private individuals and the target is profit motive. So sometimes the natural resources are misutilized or misused to earn more and more, for earning more and more profit. Next demerit is negligence of social welfare. Negligence of social welfare. We already talked that here the main target is profit motive, and so the every individual has the motto to earn more and more profit, therefore social welfare is ignored. And the last drawback of capitalist economy is formation of monopolies. Formation of monopolies. Because power is in the hand of private ownership, private individuals, so some private owners create monopolies also. So these are the merits and demerits of capitalist economy. Now we will talk about the third and last economy according to degree of control, that is mixed economy. Meaning of mixed economy. It is the blend of both capitalist economy and socialist economy. Let first we recall about the capitalistic economy. In capitalist economy, all the decisions are managed and controlled by private sector. So if we talk about the educational institution, banking sector, transport facilities, industries, all are managed and controlled by private individuals or private hands. But if we talk about socialist economy, this is that kind of economy in which all decisions are managed and controlled by public sector or government. So in this economy, all the educational institutions, banking sectors, transport, industry and so on are in the hands of public sector. But in mixed economy, if we talk that about the schools or educational institution, transport facilities, banking sectors, they are managed and controlled by both private as well as public. We know that there are some private school also, there are public school also, there are some private buses, there are some public buses. So mixed economy is a blend of both capitalist and socialist economy. So it is a perfectly blend of both two extremely opposite economies such as capitalist economy and socialist economy. Here, the public and private sector participates jointly in development of the country. As I already discussed that there is no pure capitalism and no pure socialism in the world. So that's why mixed economy is the perfect or better type of economy in the world. So let's talk about some features of mixed economy. Features of mixed economy. First feature is coexistence of private and public sector. Coexistence of private and public sector. As we have discussed right now, it is the blend of both private and public sector. So they both work together in this economy. So there is a coexistence of both. Here, resources of the country are earned and used by both private and public sector, and that's why they both are expected to work on a cooperative basis. Second feature is existence of economic plan. Economic plan. As both the sectors are work together, so something better work will be there. So since government is also involved in there here, private sector is also involved here. So here the economic planning implemented. Centralized planning authority laid down various targets and objectives for the plan or the growth of the economy, and the government framed some various policies from time to time like monetary policies, fiscal policies, industrial policies, and so on. Third feature is freedom of choice. Freedom of choice that we talk about for as a point of view of consumer. Mixed economy ensures the individual freedom regarding production, distribution, consumption, and exchange of goods and services. Now we talk about the fourth feature, that is degree of control. As in private sector, government has no control, but in public sector or socialist economy, government has full control. So we can say that degree of control here is neither very low nor very high. Last point or feature of mixed economy is administered prices. Sorry. Here the prices are determined by government as well as the market forces both. Therefore, the prices is administered. It is governed by dual price mechanism. In most of the cases of the public sector, prices of the goods and services declared by the government, especially in case of essential commodities, the prices are fixed by government, and that price is called administered price. So India is the biggest example of mixed economy, and there are some more developing countries who follow same kind of economy, that is mixed economy. Now we talk about the last topic of the lecture, that is merits and demerits of mixed economy. Merits of mixed economy. First merit is consumer sovereignty. Which means consumer has the wider choices because the market forces are given the free play to decide. all individuals are free to choose their own occupations and government strives to create favorable conditions for the growth and chosen occupation. Second merit is promote self-interest. As private individuals will have more interest because they are able to take their decisions of their own properly. Next merit is enhance equality. Equality is enhanced, equality and social justice enhanced in mixed economy because we are producing goods and services for both the sections, poor one and the richer one. So here the equality and social justice enhance in mixed economy. Fourth point is efficient utilization of resources. Efficient utilization of resources. As in the mixed economy, resources are managed and used by both the sectors, private as well as individual. So, due to the presence of competition between private and public sector, presence of individual freedom and dual price mechanism leads to efficient utilization of resources. Now, we talk about the demerits of mixed economy. First demerit is difficult to operate. Obviously, when both the sectors, private and public sector, work together, there is little bit difficult to operate the economy. That means sometimes many chances of manipulation as well as misunderstandings happens in this economy, and that's why we say that in mixed economy that is difficult to operate. Second point, discourage production in private sector. How it could be? Some of the sectors are owned and managed by government. Therefore, private sectors at certain point is discouraged somehow. Third demerit is excessive control and heavy tax are likely to prevail. Excessive control and heavy taxes are likely to prevail. That we know that India is a mixed economy and there citizens are given lot of taxes to the government. So in case of mixed economy, in order to generate the revenue for the government, heavy taxes are always imposed. Last point is inefficiency of public sector. Inefficiency of public sector. As in the mixed economy, public sector, you know that there is a full of corruption and also public sectors are less inefficient. So they are not accountable to anyone and there is a lack of interest due to which the growth rate is very slow. So this is the reason we are more emerging towards privatization, as there are more private companies than government companies in India because government companies are less efficient. So these are the merits and demerits of mixed economy. I hope you understand the topic or lecture properly. Thank you.